This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Make it clear that the views expressed by our host are not considered the official stance of MBR views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines with hosts MJ and Terri. Each week we put today's news into perspective. Tune in Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, X, YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, or anywhere you get your podcasts. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
Welcome to Beyond Headline News. What do we do here? We look at things and we dissect them a little bit more than maybe some other news networks might want to look at it. We dissect it and we give you pretty much our truth. Some people say it's our opinion, but it's truly our truth, how we feel and why we feel the way we feel. And then we go through different perspectives of that situation. And we do it all right here on mbradio.us, where it's giving veterans a voice. And here you have two beautiful veterans, my co-host and my partner here tonight, is Terri Lynch of Tracer Rounds. Hi, Terri.
Hello. Hi. And my beautiful co-host, MJ.
We're both here giving our perspectives of everything from simple news medias of funny comics, if that's our choice, to readings, to paragraphs, even up to headline news, if we have a twist of interpretation of what some of the news outlets want to put out there. Now, we all know that our news outlets, ever since JFK, that these news reports come out. We talked about JFK, and everyone's like, I don't know where to find the reports. Please, everybody write it down, whitehouse.gov. You can go to whitehouse.gov anytime that something is an executive order. It is posted what the executive order is and the findings of that executive order. You can see it firsthand. And then you can go on the news and you can make your own perspective and your own interpretation. Or you could get paid by some other news outlets and then get the wrong information because we as humans get too lazy to look up things ourselves. Wow.
It happens.
It does. Right. It does. Is it trust, Terri? I don't know. What is it? Is it trust?
Well, sometimes we blindly trust the news and we just assume whatever they say is gospel or close enough to the truth to not have to worry about it, but that's not always the case.
Yeah. I'm glad you said Bible because I want to talk about our beautiful Pope Francis tonight. That's my topic for tonight. So we're going to dive into that. And the other topic we're going to do, Miss Terri, what is your topic tonight?
It's about President Trump's 100 days in office.
Woo! Okay. So both of these are political and religion. Where's HR Nightmare? Is he going to do politics, sex, and religion? What's that song? Don't talk politics, religion, or her. What is that country song?
I don't remember that one.
Oh boy, he might be talking about that one. We don't talk these things, but here on Headline News we do. Why? Because we get to get it all open. We get to put it out there, and then you make your decision like we could make ours. But as long as you have the facts are in your wheelhouse, and as long as you can find out where you're healed, even with everybody's facts, that's how I look at it. So how was your Easter, Terri?
It was good. How about you?
Oh, it was plenty chocolatey and hoppity fun. And did you travel away? Did you go away?
No, just stayed at home. Just, yeah.
Were you able to see the
family.
smiling face Friday morning, early Friday morning on the 25th? Did you look up in the sky and see happy, happy, smiley?
I didn't. I missed it.
So on Friday morning, you got to see Venus, Saturn, and a sliver of the moon to make it look like happy, smiley face. And so that was pretty cool. But love is in the air. Everywhere I look around. Speaking love is in the air.
Wow, man, you caught me up there. You know, I was gonna do the whole like WWE thing for my show intro. You know, kind of like this.
H is in the building now.
He's gonna look for it.
Oh, come on, he ain't that great.
I love it. That's awesome.
Wow, I love that. Oh, aboard the train. Here I'm singing "Love Is in the Air."
Love is in the air.
Oh, look, there's our friend.
How is my favorite girls tonight?
Your favorite
We're
girl.
good.
Well, I can't speak for Tracer, but I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Doing good.
Good.
How was your day at work, Tracer?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
See, this is one of the reasons why I admire Tracer. She goes to work and she puts up with her boss's shit. Then she comes home and then she puts up with her horse's shit. And then, you're just all over the place.
What? There's a joke there somewhere about the jack shit family, right? Jack shit. He married what's something shit, and then he said lazy shit. Did you ever hear that joke? Oh my gosh, we have to Google the joke. Go ahead, H. Use your back computer. Find the shit joke.
The shit joke. Hold on, let me.
Right.
All right.
The family
Let's
shit
let's
joke.
see if the bat computer will help. My wife decided to be an author this weekend, so she's sitting there asking ChatGPT a bunch of questions, and then like for once she wasn't yelling at me, she was yelling at the computer. Hurry up! Come on! Let's go!
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. One moment with that with Cassie. I don't. Did you look up Jack Shit's?
I'm looking at.
Okay, Jack Shit's family joke. We got to push this up, and then we're going to go right into Pope Francis.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Jack Shit's family joke. Got it. You're looking for Jack Shit family joke.
That's right.
I'm so glad we can say shit on the station.
It's shit.
Here's a classic Jack Shit joke you might thinking of polished up for you. The story of Jack Shit. You asked me if I know Jack Shit. Well, let me tell you, Jack Shit is a real person. Jack Shit is the only son of Aw Shit. Aw Shit married Oh Shit, and together they had one child, Jack. Jack in turn, Jack Shit married No Shit. And sadly, they had a few kids of their own, full of shit, give a shit, and bullshit.
Amen.
Eventually, Jack and No Shit divorced, and No Shit married Ted Sherlock. She then became known as No Shit Sherlock. Meanwhile, Jack Shit got married again, this time to a woman named Betty Shit.
Yeah.
They had a son, Deep Shit.
Yeah.
And that's whenever someone tells you you don't know shit, you can now proudly say, actually, I know the whole damn family.
Amen. There you go. Jack shits. There you go. You never heard that joke before?
No, have you, Trace?
No, I haven't.
Well, you guys just haven't lived. I don't know. Now you're all living with the shits. See how that works.
Oh my gosh. We have turned into the Battle Rhythm Podcast version 2, haven't we?
Oh, no, I don't think so. It's the show about nothing. No, we have something. We do have stuff.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Tell us about the Pope.
All right. So, as we all know, rest his soul, the Pope has gone to the over the river and through the woods rainbow, right?
Right.
He was a very humanitarian man. But if you ask a lot of the Christians or some of the Catholics, they just dealt with him. They did not agree a lot with him, and I have maybe now asked 15 Catholic people, 15 of them. Now, just in a very small town, I asked, and they're like, let's just hope the next Pope is better. Let's just hope the next Pope is better. Now, they keep saying stuff like this, and yet, why? Why do we need to talk about Pope Francis? Because who knows the thing? When you ask a question, they said, is that true? They said, is the Pope Catholic? That's the kind of expression you get. So whatever the Pope says must be the truth, right? The Pope, here we go. I want to add something to the stage. He wrote this letter. I know it's very small, but you can read the letter yourself. It's on the genocidewatch.com. And then you can look under the Pope Francis condemns Trump deportation policies. Now, this is just one thing that Pope does. And if you come down, you will read his version of why. I'm writing today to address the few words that we can delicate move to that living of pastures of the people of God who walk together in the United States of America. The journey from slavery to freedom that the people of Israel traveled, as narrated in the book of Exodus, invites us to look at the reality of our time, so clearly marked by the phenomenon of migration as a divisive moment in history, to reaffirm not only our faith in God, who is close, incarnate, migrant, and refugee, but also of infinite and transcendent dignity of every human person. What does that mean? That means he's condemning the actions of deportation of President Trump. I know a lot of you who are news watchers. I don't watch the news. I refuse to. But these things that are said, that he was condemning Trump. He was also condemning Trump on his women's rights. Women's rights. You're condemned. Wait a minute. It was the Catholic faith who said that you may not be on birth control. The rules of the Catholic faith. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go somewhere else. You're going to go, MJ, where are you going with this? Now watch. I'm going to go to the next one. And you're going to go, what the heck? So the next screen I want to share is about judgment. Yes, the Bible does state, judge not, that you be not judged in Matthew 7:1-5. That's not the only one. There is more about judgment that you can look in the Bible. You can read it for yourself. AI's overview is this, Matthew 7:1, the passage about recognizing our own flaws and not speaking into the brother's eye. The purpose is this verse is to remind us to be humble and to avoid hypocrisy, as we are all susceptible in making mistakes and judging others. Judging others. You hear me a lot say, who are you judging? Stop judging. Egos, judgment. Stop it. That's man's conditions formats. Now I want to show you something else. He said this with Trump in mind. Only Trump. Look at these deportations. All the way down to Benjamin Harris with 2,000 deportations. You can look up these deportations yourself. Look at President Trump in 2 terms, 2 office terms, right? Look how many people that he has taken. Here, you can see removals per year and the removals. Removals per year, he's at 275,000 people. Barack Obama, 3 million in his duration. George W. Bush, 2 million people. Bill Clinton, 869,000. Right now, President Trump in 1 year office and the first 100 days, he has only sent 551,000 people back. Does that make you say, what's going on here yet?
Anybody? A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to see what's going on? Do you want to see the real story? Here's the real story. And once again, the United States was the biggest overall donor of the Peter Pence Fund, offering 13 million euros in 2022 compared to the 11 million euros in all previous years. Other big donors were Italy and Germany, but they too offered least last year than the previous year. The United States of America's U.S. aid fund was 13 million euros. That was cut to the Vatican. Look at now, I want you to go back to the U.S. aid where we just were. When he wrote this letter to the United States, it was in March that he wrote this. Well, his aid was cut. 13 million euros to the Vatican was cut with U.S. aid money. It's all there. You can do it yourself. I just showed you how. You go back into Congress Library and you can read it for yourself. I'm not going to go through all those pages again. But now you go, what in God's name? Seriously. Who is this? Bush Wookie. Hello there.
Hello there.
Obama
didn't disregard the Supreme Court.
I don't even know what the hell that means. And I'm not even going to judge that because I'm not even talking anything about the Supreme Court. I'm talking about Pope Francis. So I'm not even going to.
I told you. What did I tell you? That's what I love about live radio. We can sit here talking about football and they're going to ask about politics.
I am talking about judgment. I am talking about everybody wears the same way. They put their feet one leg in at a time. I don't know anybody that jumps 2 legs into underwear, and I don't know anybody, unless you don't wear any underwear, but we all put our underwear on the same way. You put one leg in, you put the other, including the Pope, including the President of the United States, including every ambassador, every king, every queen there is. Why should there be judgment and callousness? Those words of Pope Francis, when he wrote to give his opinion, man's opinion, he wrote in a judgmental way. Why? Was he irritated? Remember I told you, anybody who says something negative, it's a life learning lesson, or it is something about that they felt thwarted. Well, they felt thwarted because, once again, the United States said, now I'm going to say it for me, and I can't talk for Jewel or anybody else on my station, on this station, or NBR, but I'm going to tell you for me. How dare you spend my tax dollars into tithing the Vatican? I didn't ask for that. So where is it in my tax forms that I am saying to my people that I'm paying for that? I'm going to say it. If I would have, then, I would have put my money somewhere else. But that's not right. That's not right. And for him to make such a statement when all the other ones, what's he say now? The Vatican raises 13 million euros in their sleep, LOL. They didn't need. So that's right. But then again, now you can understand just a smidgen of why, as a first world country, the amount of monies that were being offset with the United States being the larger donor on all of the politicians around. The politicians that you voted in has created a domino effect. right? And when that rug gets pulled out, imagine you are living off monies and then somebody just erroneously pulls it out. It's going to upset you.
Yeah.
It's going to upset every single one of you. So there you go. The Pope is human, man. But this Pope Francis has tend to be outspoken with judgment his whole time. What is truth and what is judgment? And don't tell me something about Nazareth with Joseph and Mary telling them there's no room. No room is not saying you're not allowed. No room at the inn, Pope, is what the Bible said. There is no room at the inn. That's what it said. Now, somebody wants to get a Bible out and go to it, please do. But it didn't say that they exiled him. They exiled him from where he was. And then he ran, they went on the journey through the desert. They asked if there was any room vacant, and the answer was no. But she was ready to give birth, and that's why they settled within a barn. Okay, so your letter that he wrote says that he was exiled, and this is the genocide. It's not genocide. Maybe then it was, but this is not what this is. This is following protocol. And Pope, you stand in a guarded palace. How come you don't open your doors to the deportation? How come you don't open your doors to allow? No, you are guarded beyond guards with millions and billions of dollars pouring in. But yet you are worried about the poverty of the United States, that we are sending back to the poverty. No. No, you can't have it both ways. You cannot. And nobody in this world is God. And we all make mistakes and we all have judgment. And we try our hardest not to have judgment. But let me tell you, when you're going to make a statement such as that, and you want to wear the crown of Pope with your papal, then I suggest that you come with no judgment. I say it to the same thing when I see reverends, priests, pastors, fathers, anytime you are a clergy of the cloth, and I hope you are listening to me out there, you are no judgment. There are multiple places in the Bible that you are not to judge your brothers or your sisters. You honor them and you tell them, I understand. Father, forgive them, for they have lost their way. Father, forgive me and my part that I had played with the papal since he has crossed. But Father, for no reason should I be exiled because I am a United States citizen, and he did not appreciate the administration that just came into office, right? It's kind of like people yelling that you voted for them, so they hate all Trumpeters. It's the same concept that Pope just did. I am flipping that pattern and that past. You are not putting that on our head when you live in a palace that is guarded beyond, because you wear the title Pope. Titles don't belong on people. Titles have no business and relevance, in my opinion, in my truth. You are Francis, and that's where you were born into, and that's where you are rested into. What you did here is your honor and your nobleness to cross on your Archangel Gabriel's final trumpet blow. Now, that is coming from a spiritualist of all denominations. And I was Catholic for 28 years of my life. And my family, most of them still are. So we had many discussions. And even within my family, many of them did not appreciate Pope Francis and his dictatorship within the Catholicism of the People's Funding. And that's my Beyond the Headlines.
We need to take a quick break.
Yeah, we do. I'm scared to talk.
Let's go to Marine veteran Barbara Sim, Who You Are.
This is Who You Are by Barbara Sim.
Seems like nothing wants to roll tonight. Let's try one more time and see if it'll go.
This is Who You Are by Barbara Sim.
No, we're having trouble rolling anything tonight. It's not going.
Really?
Yeah, it seems like all the videos and everything else are stalling.
Okay, let me try on my end then. I don't see that one, but let's play Need to Feed.
Okay.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Now, who's calling who a whack here? We're having the Tracer. Hello, Tracer.
Here I am. I had to reset everything because it.
I was gonna say I didn't do nothing.
No, I always want to know who made that. Is the military duck quacking at us or calling us a quack?
No, he's saying welcome, Quack.
Yeah, welcome, quack in English.
Yeah, welcome, Quack.
Calling me a quack. our nightmare.
I didn't even think of that.
So we're calling
Yes,
our
we'll get
viewers
sued later.
Don't worry, we love you, quackers. We might be full of crackers, okay, quackers?
I love this show. I love this show. I love coming in here. But see, you know, I kind of bring a little bit of humor, but like I tell you what, when NJ was talking earlier, there was no way that I was interrupting her. I learned that stuff a long time ago with my wife. There's a time and a place to be humorous.
And it wasn't then.
It wasn't then.
Woo! I said my show today was about having a loving partner as a whipping post. That was so. Hey, thanks, partner, for letting me vent and whip you.
Hey, you're good. Like Ric Flair says, woo!
Woo!
Now I know why he does the woo.
We do that, energy release. Did you know that? Before every fire circle, we would go woo, and everybody would go woo, and the peacocks in Kali Square, all 50 of them would scream like crazy. We're like, well, welcome, Royals. Welcome. So yeah, woo! Woo! Tracer.
So I was interested to know that we gave the Vatican money. I never knew that the U.S. sent any money overseas to the Vatican, and for what reason?
13 million euros, baby. I don't
for
know
what though?
Donation. What do we give?
Yeah, donation for them to appreciate us. Acknowledge me. That's kind of the same thing, because the Army does the same damn thing for the NFL. For that, the troops, the tribute to troops month or whatever. Yeah, USA pays the NFL to do that shit.
Well, I mean, I kind of get that. It's advertising, it's marketing, but what does the federal government get out of the Vatican? That's what I'm wondering. I understand the marketing campaign, the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, they've got to get numbers in, and I get marketing and strategy and, being on the big platform, which is the NFL. I mean, that's the big platform. That's the creme de la creme to advertising, and that's why it's so expensive. But what does the Vatican get out of, well, I mean, I know what they get out of our donation, but what do we get out of that donation is what
you get to have an archdiocese here in the United States to tell everybody that the Bible says that you can get married in the Catholic Church if you pay me $5,000 because your partner isn't a Catholic. That's what I got out of it.
What I got out of it is we pay the Catholic Church so much money every year for them to be our friends and not to sit there and call us out. That's what that is.
Anybody who's in an organized religion who wants to wear the cloth, the bottom line is you will not judge. How dare you judge? And why would you wear the robe or the cloth if you're going to judge? So when I see people who want to preach the Bible and they want to make a big soap opera stance about the Bible, then I'm going to turn them around. I'm going to say, you're judging others. Stop it. And I'll give you Genesis, I'll give you Matthew, I'll give you Luke, because there's 4 or 5 passages that God said there will not be judgment. You may not. We all are here on different life lessons. So that's why my kids growing up, I used to joke and they would go, Mom, you're not right. And I'm like, and that's a judgment. You're not allowed to judge me, right? I can't help you think it's not right. That's a judgment. And I'm raising you Catholic because that's the only thing I knew at the time.
Yeah.
So they had to, the mouse out of what comes out of the mouth of babes, right? And you're like, shit. Teach what's right and what's wrong. So it could backfire, but it doesn't. If you have that same belief system, and it's hard. And I said it, and I say it so much time. It is hard to turn the other cheek. It is hard to walk away. It is hard not to use, especially military people. And we prove that by the frequency on that other show, what they train you in for anger, courage, and pride. Those are low vibrations, very low. So it's really sad to think of our people to be that low in vibration of judgment. That is just incredibly wide opening. And he goes on. There's 4 or 5 things he hammered against Trump because he actually spoke out. But if you actually looked at that whole list, it's sad. It is truly sad. The same thing. You think these people would never do something. Everybody has skeletons. Look at Ron DeSantis. He's up on chart, governor of Florida. People love Ron DeSantis. And now he's up on, because, what's good for Democrats is good for Republicans there, whoever want to talk politics, right? Ron DeSantis, $10 million given to the Hope Foundation, Florida Hope Foundation. He gave part of that to his wife to have empowerment and betterment, but that was not what that money was for.
Wow.
Take it himself, but he helped his wife, and he took Florida's taxpayers' money, or the money they got from the Fed, and they pushed 10 million into the Hope Foundation, which is his wife's foundation. So now they're trying to hang him. And that was not what that 10 million was sanctioned for. Is that right or is it wrong? Well, if the money truly went into helping others, it might be a linear way. But if you have to say it's right or wrong, then you're going to have to go with, no, the court says that's not what the money was allocated for, and now you did something wrong. Though the money went into a charitable organization for Foundations of Florida Hope during floods and hurricanes and so on and so forth, another way besides Red Cross, and that's what the money was for. It was humanitarian, it was beautiful, it was service to others, but in the long run, he's going to get nailed because it was wrong. And people
wonder if we said all that and said, ChatGPT, what do you think? I wonder what its opinion would be.
Oh boy. Do it.
Should I?
Sure.
Come on, Jack Cave.
All right. So exactly what do you want me to put? What's your opinion on the Pope?
Oh, I think you're talking about Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. We can do that too.
See if, there you go. See if your GTP or GPT or whatever the heck it is. see how biased it is, because remember, somebody had to program it. So Are they healed or are they not healed?
So how biased is ChatGPT? Okay. How biased are you?
Right.
Are you
left or right?
Or not healed? Are you left or right? Let's see what it says. Good direct question. Let me answer you honestly and clearly. I don't have political bias left or right. I'm not healed or unhealed emotionally because I'm not a human being. I'm built to stay neutral, fair, and helpful no matter what your background, beliefs, or emotions are. That said, when you ask me for something like a joke, polished video, intro, or advice, I'm at your style depending on what you want. Like casual, patriotic, serious, aggressive, funny, formal, example, savage jokes, blah, blah. Bottom line, I'm on your side, not on political side. I reflect your energy to serve you better, but I don't push my own opinions because I don't have them.
But who programmed it? Somebody had to program it.
But who
programmed you?
Who programs you?
We get to the bottom of GPT. We're going to put it out there.
Good. You're asking the right kind of deep questions. Here's the straight answer. I was created and programmed by people at OpenAI. It's a company made blah, 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 and it just keeps on going on. It's getting very boring now. Usually it's pretty good, but like, hey, let's get some break and smoke.
People. So people had to program. People aren't healed. People in 10 are listening to man. Man has these beautiful aha moments, but then as we evolve and we change, those aha moments are no longer. They're just not. The belief I had it today. My belief system of my grandmother was to serve her husband, right? 1910, serve my husband. He goes to work. He supports the family. That's an old belief pattern. It's an old system. So see what I'm saying? Sometimes, even though you use AI or GPT, read it.
Yeah.
Because they put a lot of fluff in it.
Maybe Steve Jobs made it.
Oh, screw that. Did I say that out loud? See, ego and judgment. I am not to judge another. But when you want to put something into my body and make it mandatory, I have free will to say, kiss my ass. You're not doing that. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So, Tracer.
Yes, ma'am.
You are so quiet.
I know, right?
I'm just taking it all in.
She's like tiny Tito Mouse in the corner.
Well, it's almost like, man, I hope I'm not like stealing you guys' thunder.
No,
absolutely.
No, I'm curious with the Chat GPT and what they think and how they think. I'm curious because I have never heard of a software like that actually talks to you like stop it and don't do it and come back in 30 minutes when you know what you want. I've never heard any software respond to somebody like that.
Dear Cass kept telling me, oh, no. At 7 o'clock, she was yelling at, well, that's just dumb. She's literally yelling at it. And she's like, it was like, it cracks me up because I'm like that, but I'm saw my wife do it. Like after 6 minutes, she was like, "Are you ready yet?
Are you through?" That's what she's thinking.
When my kids were young, when the cell phones first came out, I think it was pound 2424, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Cha Cha. And if you just ask Cha Cha any question, that's how kids in school were passing tests. Because on their little cell phones, they would type in, and ask Cha Cha what the question, and they would answer it. And so now it went from Cha Cha to like one-word answers to now this big philosophical GPT.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? I find that's amazing how evolved we're becoming. And I really pity our future. And I really pity those people 1,000 years from now who are going to look in graves and not understand big lips, big ass, and big boobs on a skeleton. Or they're going to look at videos, or they're going to look at something primal from back and go, is that true? Because they can't understand the falsity of the AI. It's going to be an amazing evolution to watch this creation go through. Too bad I'm not going to be here 1,000 years from now. But if you come back, let me know. You let me know how that works out. But you can see it all changing. You can see that our Earth is tilting. Our climate change, right? The Earth tilting, which is already breaking away Africa. Did you see that? So our continental divides are crunching again. Hence the ice age. Hence the flooding. Hence all these platonics. This is the shift. This is what's causing the climate. This is theoreticals. This is what do they call that? Something physicist, whatever. But they're showing the topography of the continental shelves already splitting because of the Earth tilting. And when the Earth tilts, obviously waters move. Things start happening, more sunlight, more darkness on some areas than they ever had before. So is it really climate change? Well, climate change in the way of our Earth cycle, but not because of fossil fuel that they want to promote. So there's another flip pattern. And you can even watch the continentaling divide in Africa. It's the whole thing is being pushed off, and we will have another sea. So that's really interesting in the news. Tracer, you got to speak up, man. Come on. Time is money on this show.
I'm just listening. So Donald Trump tomorrow will conclude his first 100 days. So I was curious what he's accomplished based on what he said he wanted to accomplish. What has he accomplished in those 100 days? So I was kind of curious. So he accomplished or is in progress of immigration overhaul, mass deportations, executive orders, the Department of Government Efficiency, trade policies, and social media app ban. So he had talked about all those things, and he's in progress with a lot of them. But some that he hasn't done anything with are ending the Ukraine-Russian war, paying off the national debt, tax cuts, because that's still pending in Congress, low energy costs, lowering the energy costs, or federal spending cuts. Doge has been established and substantial financial savings have not yet materialized. So they have been working the budgets and finding where they need to cut, but like the actual savings, the actual reduction in spend hasn't officially hit any books to draw down any debt. So I was just curious to see what's been accomplished of what he said he wanted to do, and then what hasn't started or hasn't been fulfilled yet. So that's kind of the rundown according to ChatGPT. That's what it's saying.
I would say that you just nailed it right on the head. 100 days. So Trump has been president for 100 days.
Tomorrow. Yep.
Right. 100 days. Mm-hmm. And we are so, I don't want to say entitled as a society, but we're impatient.
Very impatient. Yes.
100 days, and we get upset when people yell at us because we're procrastinating. We're waiting till the last second to go to the DMV. So we have to remember as a society that shit takes time. It does.
That jack shit, man, it took a long time. It took at least 3.
It does. It takes a lot of time to do anything. I mean, we know this, and as people, we know this, but we feel that these guys, since they're getting paid all these millions and millions and millions of dollars, that we feel that they should be able to do it like super fast, but you can't do it super fast. And there's a reason why you can't do it super fast. And I guess my rambling, I'm just basically saying that, we don't want to develop shit anymore. We want it all produced. We want it all done right then and right there. We don't want to deal with the journey. We want to take
we want it now, Daddy.
Yeah, we want to take shortcuts. But the thing is when you pray to God to give you strength, he's going to give you something to teach that strength.
Oompa doompa.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump's another puzzle for you.
Well, when you have to depend on committees too to accept what you're trying to do, and it has to pass the House and the Senate and all those things. I mean, that's not a quick process, nor is that an easy go, because you've got opposition on some sides, and you've got people that are with you on the other side. So you still have to come together and meet in the middle in order to get anything done. So even if he wanted to accomplish everything he had on his list, he's hamstrung by the process, which is good because it's a check and a balance, and that's what it needs to be. It needs to have checks and balances because one person shouldn't wield all power and just determine, oh, this is what we're doing. I don't care what anybody else thinks. We're just going to do because I thought so and I said so. So we don't want that either.
Okay, I'm going to throw a flip.
Okay.
If you run on a platform, you are stating the case in which you're running on. It's not stating the case to see how much you can get done. It's what you're running on in hopes to get done, right?
Right.
If you're a good president, this is the problem. A lot of the presidents are running on a platform that don't even hit 5 of the items. Trump has already executive ordered the items that he offered and that he ran on platform. And again, whitehouse.gov, you can see the platform he ran on. And then you can see the checks and balance systems. And I disagree with that GPT again, because they
Well,
said
that was me. That wasn't Chat GPT though.
no. She
Yeah,
read
okay.
Yeah,
what
no, the information I had was from
Tracer read.
ChatGPT. I wanted to see what it would say.
Okay.
Right. So with that being said, here you go again. Where are they pulling that information? Because Doge team did go in and slash USAID funding. Now, because fiscal year doesn't happen until October, that's a biased call again on GPT. Well, of course, you're not going to save any money as of right now because fiscal year isn't until October. How do I know this? Because I used to work for the National Park System and doing tours. We had to do everything, even in our fishing internationally, everything is done in October. So that's why if you look at your taxes for your states and local, they start in September and giving, here you go, and getting the monies in by September is when you start to pay your taxes. Ironically, I believe that when you see on Doge.com or .org or whatever it is, .gov, you will see on the Doge website that they are removing. They have found that this was a waste and it will no longer be paid. If it was already paid in October, well, we can't pay it. We can't get the money back, but we're not going to pay it now until another October, and it's not going to be paid.
Right.
So everybody who says all their money has been pulled, how? If fiscal year is October, you got to get your money, but you have until October. Even the people, workers, how long did they give them? September, October to find a new job. They're taking them to the fiscal year. This is the stuff that I don't think everyday people understand. They just want to condemn, but they don't want to understand. And there's GPT, right? Well, he hasn't saved any money. The hell he hasn't. Just because it's not off of the fiscal budget doesn't mean he didn't do it, right? Yeah. They did do it. They saved us billions and billions, almost. I think he hit, because I think Elon Musk said he's going to hit either 1 or 2 trillion, and then he'll leave. He'll find it, and he was right. He found it. We ran on that. So if the majority of the vote wins and the electoral vote wins, that means unfortunately people didn't vote. Then that's on them. But the people who did vote, it was the voice, because you hear Australian people and you hear New Zealand people and you hear Europe people who don't like Trump because they're being affected with the price cuts. They're being affected with the deportations.
But after 130 days, Musk will be fired because he's not an official White House employee.
Exactly.
So the question is, when Musk leaves, is Doge going to be enforced?
So that's why he told him he would go through as quick as possible and bringing in as many people as possible. So even though Elon Musk might step out, does not mean that Doge is not going to exist.
Right. He's still going to be the boss.
Right. He still he put the foundation in, the roots went, and now continue. He doesn't need to be there to hold your hand.
Yeah, I mean, all he's basically doing is, okay, we're going to make a third company and they're going to do this, and Musk is going to be hiring and he's going to be a manager. So he doesn't work for a White House. We're paying a third party. So congratulations, everybody. You're bitching and moaning. Just created another bill for the White House. Woohoo!
And there you have it. And then all these other lawsuits is spending taxpayer money again in these stupid lawsuits because, here we have it. So you can impeach Trump on bullshit charges, but when we have actual charges against them, and then you have to wonder, what did Barack Obama do that First Lady is divorcing him? How come all these people are now either fleeing, health major issues, separation from partners? There's a lot of tragedy going on within the actual government. There's a lot of extra spending by the politicians being voted in, taking more cuts. And so, Tracer, I love that you did this, because in 100 days, the man has far exceeded anything than any other president that game up in a line has been able to accomplish. He in that aspect, he's a worker. He's a high worker, high energy worker. Even, how old is he? He's in his 70s or 80s.
I think so. Yeah.
Now I got a question for you because you brought this up, and I agree with you. But here's a question. So something happened yesterday in Colorado Springs. They used some military force, some SWAT force. I don't know if it was a undercover sting or whatever, but basically, ICE went into a nightclub, not a Walmart, not a Home Depot, but a nightclub, and they arrested like 800 and some people from doing guns. I mean, you name it, they were doing it. All right. Now, my question is, did they break the law? Yes, of course. But isn't that kind of sucker punch sending ICE into a nightclub, something that's like public, that's almost like sending I don't want to compare a church to a nightclub, but you get what I'm saying, you know. It's somewhere that people trust.
There was a tip off. ICE would have never went in there unless there was a tip off. There had to be some type of tip off that was happening, and 800 people in a club, that's a lot of people in a nightclub, especially with that many firearms. So there had to be something going on. Something happened. Something got through the wires, got tipped off, or they knew the majority of the gangs might have been going there causing a ruckus. But ICE is not, again, and if you listen to Nomi and you listen to Hagsep and you listen to these people, and not off the news, just listen to them, you'll hear what's happening. You'll hear, why that's happening. But Jewel, I got to tell you, Colorado is tough. Denver is a tough place to live right now.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's why I don't get out much.
Backwards. I mean, the people, the laws fight every administration. I don't care if it's Democratic, Republican. Colorado seems to just always fight the administration, especially the libertarians who live there. It is just.
I don't even know why they call it libertarians, Democrats. They're the same thing.
No, they're not, because there's some libertarians who will go Republican. There are, in fact, that's your libertarians or your artists, your actors. And so they get sanctioned into pooling. Here you go, social peer. You're either going to vote my way or you're not going to have X, Y, and Z. The same way that Weinstein entrapped the girls. You want to be a movie star? Well, you're going to have X, Y, and Z, date rape, this, that, and the other. It's the same type of thing. And it is that leverage of man's corruption and man's explosiveness that gets everybody else in trouble. That's my opinion. It's my judgment. There you go. I can't be a judgment if it's the truth. You read the truth. If you read the truth, it's not judgment. I want to be very clear on that. If you can read the truth and you can source the truth, it's no longer a judgment. It's a fact. Now, should you not believe it, then that's a judgment on your end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if facts are laid out before you, it's somebody else has judged it, not you. When people go to court, when people get sentenced to prison, they're judged, and they're judged by the facts that are laid out. So if the facts are wrong, or if they're missing, or they're misrepresented, then they are. But somebody has made a conscious decision to judge that.
In the words of Letitia James, nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. Joel, nobody is above the law. That means you, sir.
She's like, how did I?
Shit, what did I do now?
She's like, whoa, how did I get named?
Right?
That's
then again, I just looked down and I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of wearing the wrong shirt. So that's the reason why I haven't leaned back too much.
Hey, as long as it doesn't say we're closed because we're stoned, we're good.
No, it's my Rub My Meat shirt.
That's what she said. Oh my goodness.
It's about barbecue, people, just for clarification.
Yeah.
Barbecue rub for barbecuing meat on the grill. That's what it's about. Just for clarification, we're just going to put that out there.
I like mine better.
Sometimes you gotta watch what I say. We do have a guy that speaks a sermon on MBR, and I might say like the wrong thing. So sometimes I gotta watch what I say.
You live how you want to live, my friend.
Well, we have 1 minute left. Anybody got any closing thoughts?
Oh, that's some deep thought.
That was a heavy sigh.
There you go. Hey, can we do that quote?
Yeah.
And then H. There you go. That's my quote for the week. It'd be like a quotation mark H.
That says it all.
Right? Yeah.
Dude, we gotta go. He's just gonna sigh all night long because that's his quote of the week. So he has no words because he has already reigned into his magnificent self. So there is no words to be accepted here. All right, folks, this is Beyond the Headline News, and we have our fave, Joe, below us. And to the right of us, we have Terry, and I am MJ, and we love having you here on Monday nights at 7 o'clock, and we'll be back next week, same time, same bad channel. See ya!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.